is up, y'all? It is Pigeon Pirate, and I am back with another one of my MSI previews. And today we're going to be kicking off Group C with from the Turkey League TCL's own Istanbul Wildcats. So I'm really excited to talk about these guys, and it's not just because they have the coolest logo out of all the teams going to MSI, but they do, and it's not even close. But anyway, jumping right into it. Their top laner is Starscreen, jungler is Ferret, mid laner is Saren, bottom is Holy Phoenix, and their support is Farfetch, with their coach being RoboGod. So for the Istanbul Wildcats, this is their first time ever showing up on the international world stage. So I'm excited to see how these guys can do it. But their path here is they actually place second in the regular season behind Supermassive Esports. And so Supermassive Esports had a 15 and 3 record going into playoffs, whereas the Istanbul Wildcats were 14 and 4. And a lot of you are probably really familiar with Supermassive Esports. This has been the Turkish mainstay on the world stage for quite a number of years, going to MSI at Worlds for a number of years in a row. So they were finally dethroned this year by the Istanbul Wildcats, even though it did come, even though they were only the number 2 seed to come out of their region. So one of the things that might explain their ability to do so, and one of the things I really like about the TCL is they actually hand out quite a number of awards. It's much more like a traditional sports league where they hand out more than just an MVP or an all pro team, and they have quite a number of awards that they give out. And so some of the awards that were given out to the Istanbul Wildcats this regular season was they received the award for the best coaching staff. So obviously, they're able to come together as a team and really perform at a much higher level than people initially anticipated. So, one best coaching staff on the all pro team, so the best players in their positions, their top laner Starscreen won, their jungler Ferret won, and their support Farfetch won. And Farfetch also won the most improved player of the split. So he's certainly somebody who stepped it up and performed a lot higher in this split than he did in splits past. So it was really exciting to see these guys come together, and but it was really the effort of Ferret that I think carried the team the strongest because he was able to not just win the All Pro award for junglers, but he also was tied for the most amount of Player of the Game awards in the split at 5 Player of the Game awards, and this was equal to only two other players, who was Kassaz, who was the mid laner for Supermassive Esports, who ended up winning MVP of the split, and Nariman, who's the AD carry for Fenerbahce, who was the team that the Istanbul Wildcats ended up beating in the finals. So he was in very good company in this, and was able to do a lot of hard carrying for his teams, but I'll definitely get more into that as the video continues. So even though Istanbul Wildcats were only the number 2 seed in the playoffs, their path to getting to MSI was actually pretty difficult and came from two really close series. So the way the playoffs work in the TCL is it's a 16 playoff single elimination where the two top teams had a bye. So in that first round of the playoffs, Istanbul Wildcats had a bye, but then had to go against, and I'm going to mispronounce this, so I'm sorry. The Galatasaray or Galatasaray Esports. I knew I was going to butcher that. Um, but they had a really close matchup against them, sneaking out a victory, going 3-2, to advance to the finals against where they went up against 1907 Fenerbahce Esports and ended up winning 3-1 in those finals. But after watching that final matchup, it was incredibly close. It really could have swung either way, and quite honestly, I thought it was going to swing toward Fenerbahce multiple times throughout watching that final. So it was very close and very hard fought. But regardless, Istanbul Wildcats were able to pull out the victory with Starscreen winning the MVP of the finals. So ultimately, what makes this team a really great team and what makes them an MSI caliber team? Well, first and foremost is they're the best early game team in the TCL. They have the highest early game rating. They've got the best goal difference at 15. Their first tower rate is 83%. They have the best kill death ratio, and they get 72% of Rift Heralds, meaning that they're able to get this at an incredibly high level and control the map early on, especially through that bot or through that top side. They also have the second best mid to late game rating. So they don't typically throw the leads that they're able to get in the early game, but watching the finals against Fenerbahce, they really were testing that limit. It did seem like they were able to throw because a number of matches because of the aggression of a lot of their players, but they are able to hang on and they're ultimately able to get the victories to get them to MSI. And as I alluded to, a lot of that early game strength and the way they're able to use that early game strength and transition it to the rest of their team comes from the control on their top side of the map. And so it's really about their two players, primarily their jungle ferret. And this guy, he is incredibly aggressive and an amazing engager and team fighter, but he really likes to camp and get star screen going early on so that they can use that pressure that and that lead that they build up topside to transition it to other parts of the map. And the stats really back this up. Ferret has the highest jungle control rating in the entire TCL. And he's also got the best KDA for junglers and the second highest damage per minute for junglers. So he's able to do this and build leads for himself and then transition it to Starscreen. And Starscreen is able to build those independent leads as well, really good. He's got the highest first blood rate for tops in the entire league, and he's got the best experience difference at 15 too. And he's not always getting these massive independent leads because he plays such a diverse champion pool. So this guy played 12 different unique champions in the regular season, and then an additional two unique champions come the playoffs. So he played a total of 14 different champions in the 27 matches. I believe it was 27 matches that he had throughout the entirety of this spring split. And so he was really able to play and get leads and then transition those leads really well on a myriad of champions. And so between Starscreen and Ferret, they're really able to get those leads, get control of that top side, and get control of Rift Herald and start snowballing it. And so both of these, both the mid laner and both the top laner and the jungler, they're also both ranked second in their worlds for gold earned per minute. Um, and they're great at engaging. And that's really ultimately what it comes down to with this top side of the map between their jungler and their top laner is it's not just the fact that they're able to build independent leads for themselves, but it's the fact that they're able to then transition it onto other players and other people onto their team. So oftentimes what you'll see happen is you'll see Ferret go up top for an early gank and him and Starscreen being able to get an early kill in top lane. And then what you see very soon after is Starscreen TPing towards bot to set up a four-person dive or set up a large team fight and answer a gank from the opposing team down in bot lane. And so he's really taking the advantages that he's able to produce from top lane and trying to push it into other places on the map so then they can carry on later game. And you saw that a lot in the finals. When looking at the actual KDAs and statistics coming at the end of it, you really see their mid laner Siren or their AD carry, Holy Phoenix, having really strong KDAs, and so they look like they're doing a lot of the work. But if you actually watch the games, what you'll see happen is they're not really building the leads for themselves much independently in their lane. Instead, what they're doing is they're staying even in farm and then benefiting off of people like Ferret or Starscreen to come to their lanes and push the advantages that they have and pass it along to them so that they're ultimately able to carry really hard late game. And they're certainly able to do that. You saw Siren have some really great games on his Zir in that finals, and Holy Phoenix having some great Callista games. So they like to play those scaling champs that can take advantage of the style that their teammates are helping them with. And so the other big person on their team that's really doing a lot of the heavy carrying is their support in Farfetch. Farfetch, again, he's an incredibly aggressive support. He finished in the league second in first blood rate for supports. He had the highest damage per minute for supports, the highest gold percentage, and gold per minute stats in the league for supports. And he also had the highest death percentage, but also the highest kill share percentage. So what all of this is essentially telling me, and what you can see in their plays, is he is very aggressive. He's not afraid to engage in these team fights and try to put himself in a position that may get him killed, but ultimately set up the team to win these big team fights. And you saw that a lot in the matches that they would play, where him, Ferret, and Starscreen are just diving so far into the enemy's towers or in between their towers to chase after these kills and get them. And sometimes it's over aggressive and they get themselves killed for no reason and can throw leads that they have. But a lot of times it's able to work in their favor and they're able to get these kills that they can then transition onto their carries for later game. Um, and so ultimately, that's really where the strength of their team lies, is their ability between their support, top laner, and jungler to really get early leads for themselves, play very aggressively once they have those leads, and then use that aggression to set up strong team fights and transition their leads onto the primary carries of their mid laner and AD carry so that they can ultimately end up carrying the late game team fights and win them the game. So, in a nutshell, that's essentially the game plan that Istanbul Wildcats go into in a lot of their games. And to give them credit, worked out really super well for them in their league, and they're very deserving of getting their ticket to MSI. However, how do I think this is going to play off to, or play for them come the actual MSI? Unfortunately, after doing my research on them, I really don't see the Istanbul Wildcats doing well at all. They might be able to pull out one or two wins, but considering the fact that they're in a pool with Pain Gaming, Paris, and Mad Lions, I don't think they're really going to be able to win any games. They're most likely going to be battling for that third spot in the pool against Pain Gaming. And given the experience on the international stage of the Pain Gaming players, I just give them the innate advantage over the Istanbul Wildcats, who are brand new coming to the stage. And after doing my research as well and watching a lot of their games, there was nothing about them that really made me say, wow, this team can do this specific skill or do this really great thing a lot better than any other team. There are times when Fair will make an amazing aggressive play and appear in the back of nowhere to engage on a team fight that goes their way, but he also makes just as many of those plays that end up getting him and a lot of his teammates killed and losing the advantage that they already had. So on the international stage where people have a lot stronger macro, a lot better sense on how to play the game, and are mechanically a lot more gifted and will likely punish Istanbul Wildcats in the early game and in their laning phase a lot harder. I just don't really see a world in which Istanbul Wildcats are able to get many wins. But with that being said, it's MSI, it's international. These guys are only playing one game at a time, and it's a best of one or a best of two round robin. So I'm really excited to see how it plays out. And hey, I'm not going to be able to write them off because Ferret is an absolute madman, and it is a lot of fun to watch him and these guys play when they're going in for some crazy dives. So if you think I'm right, think I'm wrong, think I'm an idiot, please let me know in the comments section. And always, I'm really excited to continue this MSI previews. So stick around, and thanks for watching. Bye.